the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Um, I just wanted to say hello, everybody. I wanted to connect with all of you, and just wanted to share some thoughts about the times that we're living in. I know everybody has been talking about Corona this, Corona that. Um, as young people, specifically like in your age in junior high, we face a lot of struggles. We face a lot of problems. We At this specific time now, we are at more odds because we're now thinking we can't go outside, we are not able to meet with our friends. So, what do? We stay home, we're playing games all the time, or we are doing all these things, and after a while, it gets quite boring. And then your mind starts going into some other direction, and it can get in a very bad spiral. Well, I want to assure you that this is not just a struggle that you are going through. Us as adults as well are going through a ton of struggle, and we're going through, um, you can say, somewhat even of a more difficult time, not because we are only going through the struggles of our own. We're also worried about you guys. We're worried about the fact that you guys are struggling, and what can we do to help while not being able to be there for you physically. However, at these times, I still believe that these times are provided by God for us to start rethinking our priorities, rethinking our normal life and the things that we have been taken for granted all along. God, I think, has sent this to us, um, not as simply a wake up call, but also to appreciate the life that He has given us, to make us see how He is still there and He is still in control. Now, some people are going to say, well, you're saying that this virus is coming from God. This isn't necessarily what I'm trying to say, but what I'm trying to say is the message behind what's happening. This is the true thing that we really need to start thinking about. Let me tell you this. For example, in the story of Moses, God did great acts to get the Israelites out of Egypt. 10 big plagues that hit the entire land of Egypt, and by the way, they never impacted the Jewish people that were coming out of Egypt. And as He led them all through that journey, it came to a point where they're now faced with a sea that they cannot cross and an enemy behind them that is about to kill them. So what what was God's point of all of that? Can we say that God led them for destruction? Well, no, we can't. Did God lead them out of Egypt? Yes, He did. But the real challenge here is to see beyond what God had done and trust in Him. I don't think anyone, even Moses at the time, thought that he could split the sea and have that entire hundreds of thousands of people cross an entire seabed on barefoot, essentially. But what happened was that Moses trusted in that God is capable of doing something. Well, did he expect a miracle? Probably not. Did he expect, you know, a a splitting of the sea? I don't think this is an idea that would come to anybody. But the idea is that he trusted in the Lord, and that is the important piece. So, what we need to do today for us, as much as we need to be praying for this pandemic to go away, and as much as we need to be um, keeping our eyes on God, we also need to think in a different way in saying, regardless what God ends up doing, we trust that He will do something great. Well, That's something great in the story of Moses was about the splitting of the sea. But that same something great for us could be something completely different. You know, I hate to say this, but sometimes even that disease itself may be used for the glorification of God. How? There are many ways. There are plenty of ways. In some sense, some people are get closer to God when they're sick. Some others, they they see God's act in other people and they start to think their own lives. I'm not asking you to say to accept all of this as that we have to be endure the suffering and all of that. No, but what I'm saying is always look for God for guidance. Always look to God as a core supporter of us, a core help and a steadfast stronghold, as they say, for our lives. In the Bible, it says, whether we live or we die, we are for God. So at this time, it is most important to start thinking in this way to say, I don't know what is the outcome of this, but I do know that God is there, and whatever happens, we are sticking with Him because we are His children, and that no pandemic will ever take away. Thank you, and we miss you and hope to see you soon.